In this training session, we'll briefly review some of the different modules that you'll find in use on our different sites that we've put together. For the most part, we use a handful of well-known, well-researched, and very functionally rich and stable modules again and again and again to put together our sites within the DNN content management system. We have in general 5 or 10 different modules that we use for specific purposes. Again, remember that modules are, in my Lego analogy, doors or windows or wheels, and they all have different functions and different purposes, and you put them together to make a new creation. But we have 5 to 10 common modules that we use again and again, or we'll use another module called Xmod Pro to custom build new functionality for you. And in that circumstance, we've built something for you from scratch or brand new, specifically tailored to your use. So what we'll do here is just run through and take a look at a few of those to see how they look. To begin with, on the screen we see a site that has a testing page that I've set up with a standard HTML module in place. You know that this is an HTML module once you go to the edit icon and you see your common menu item of edit content, and you can go in and use the standard HTML editor to work on the content of that particular page or module. Similar modules have other modules have different functions that are specially built specific purposes or functions. Here we're taking a look at one of the very common ones that we'll use. That is a document list module. This is a very simple module that allows you to put titles to a series of documents and allow people to have a button to link or download that particular document that you've put up. When you use the pencil icon there, you'll notice that it doesn't show you edit content. It shows you a different link for add a new document. Or you'll notice that the documents that are already present have their own pencil icons, which allow you to edit that particular piece of content. So if you see something like that, you'll just know that you're using a different module, and you're going to click edit and see what happens. Remember, you can't permanently break anything inside the management system. So the worst you can do is mess up a link or maybe delete or remove an item from the site. They're stored in databases. We can recover them. We can restore them. We can re-upload a document if it's been deleted, or recreate a link for it. So you never worry that you're going to break something permanently. You can always undo what has been done. Here we can see that editing this document link, we can see the title for the link. If we want to put in a description, we can put in one. If we're using categories, we can work on categories. Notice, too, that you can choose a document to link to, and this should feel very familiar to some of the things that you can do when you're making links inside of the HTML module. For instance, we can choose to make a link to an external document, or we can choose a file on our website, and if so, we can choose different folders to get that content out of and choose a particular item and then press update to save or cancel to undo what we've been messing around with, or even delete to delete this particular link or this particular item. So as an example, the document module is familiar, has several similar elements, and is fairly basic to use. Another variation on that is the simple links module. The links module does the same type of thing, but instead of being more tailored to titles and descriptions and download documents, it is really intended for links of any kind. And when you create a link, it's fairly straightforward. You're putting in the title, you're putting the link to whatever it is, whether it's an external URL or a page or a file, etc. And then it also has description, and you I'm canceling it, and you save that editor change. But in general, it's very similar to the document module, but it shows a different type of display and different type of features. So when you use the links module, you might use it in a list of references or list of external websites, whereas the documents module is more specifically tailored to giving a download type of link. Another common module that we use is an article module. The article module similarly has many options available to it when you use the management item to get a hold of the options. One of those is going to be to create a new article. Similarly, though, you'll notice that it has new article as a link at the top of the module when you're logged in as an administrator, or it has its own slightly different edit icon. So you might see slightly different icons for things. That's completely understandable. But you click on the edit action and you get to what you're expecting, a detail screen where you can edit the particular things of that module, or in this particular case, of a specific article, such as the title of this article, the categories that this article belongs to, the publish date. You get to see the full content description of the article. You get to see the short paragraph intro for the article. With the article module, very specifically, the description is the short version that shows when you're looking at a list page, and then when you go to the full article, that's when you get the full content of that particular article. There are plenty of other options available, such as being able to mark an image and put it as your inset image inside of that article, being able to work on further SEO content for that article. But the main point of this quick example description of how other modules work is that once you've worked in the HTML module and a few other modules, you're not going to be surprised by what you see when you click into other modules. Just give it a try, see what options are available to you, make some edits and changes. I'm sure it will make plenty of sense when you get into it because it's similar to everything else you've seen with other modules. Lastly, I want to stop off on some Xmod Pro created modules just to use them as examples. In these types of modules, we will often put in place an edit and a delete link so that you can delete a particular item right from that screen, or you can edit that particular item. In this particular case, we're taking a look at examples of project items, so we can get to a detail page, similar to how articles work. You have a detail page and you have a list page. But the main point is when you click to edit a specific item or listing, you're going to be presented with a form that gives you the options to work on that particular piece of content. In this particular setup inside of Xmod Pro, we have a title, we have a paragraph description, we have specific features, and those are all available in form fields that are present. And if you've become familiar with the HTML module, you won't be surprised to see it show up as parts and elements of other modules, not only the article module, the detail modules on items, here being the details inside of an Xmod Pro module that we've put together custom. That concludes this particular session. We wanted to run through and talk about different modules and how they are all slightly different. I hope the overarching theme or takeaway here is that you shouldn't be afraid to jump in and make edits and changes on your site. If you run across a module that we've used that you're not familiar with, that shouldn't be something that stops you. Click on the edit icon, click around to see what you can get into. I am positive that with the experience you've already had working inside of DNN, you'll be able to make edits and changes, and you can always call when you have issues. Thank you.